that is going to be conveyed to some, tonight, 22 people present. Do you know that you have the opportunity every time you are Toastmaster to actually influence and keep riveted for 2 full hours a room full of people? Now, how many people today have had an audience of 22 people? How many people have had an audience? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did it feel? Were you a little nervous? Did your experience in Toastmasters help you feel more confident doing it? Well, let me tell you, if you take this job seriously, I mean really dive into it, you will be prepared for any time you have to speak to larger groups than 22. I've known people from this group who have gone on to speak to groups of 400 and 1,000 people and absolutely amazed themselves that it was no different than running a Toastmaster meeting. They felt so comfortable doing it because they were used to it. They knew what to do. They had been in control and they had taken control. But, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's up to you. This can be a painful experience, a delectable experience, and it's all up to the way you deal with it. It can be a wonderful experience for all of us who are in the group that you choose to lead that night, or it can be a very tiresome one. And let me tell you, I have been a Toastmaster for a while now, and I have seen some very painful meetings. I've had to live through the meeting and they kind of just drag along. Thank God there's other people who get up and speak. But the Toastmaster themselves are the one who carry the energy and who convince people that being there that night is worth their time. So what do you do to make your role meaningful? Well, it starts before you ever get here, let me tell you. It starts when you're called by the EVP and reminded, hey, you know, you're a Toastmaster. Oh, sure, great. Who's on my schedule? So you look it up, you find out who's there that you're going to need to call. 2 of the major components you've already seen tonight of any meeting is your general evaluator. Be sure you know who that person is going to be. And if they can't do it, find somebody who will. And if they didn't get somebody else, guess who it's going to reflect on if your meeting isn't prepared? You. It's going to reflect on you. So it doesn't matter whether they did their job of getting a replacement or not. You have to go out and take care of your meeting because this is your night to shine. The Table Topics Master is the second person. And not only do you call them and find out if they're coming, it is important to know how they want to be introduced. You can have them help you and write their own introduction. Be sure that if there's a theme, to include the theme in it. Be sure that if the theme tonight is delectable, be sure if they give you an introduction that they put something down about desserts they love, or the worst dessert they ever ate, or something, so that it ties in and makes your whole meeting sort of hang together with the thread. The other people that you need to call, of course, are your speakers. Are they going to be prepared? Do they have their speech title? If not, please bring it that night. And when you get here, the next thing that you need to do is to be here a little early, because there's a schedule that needs to be written out. Tonight we were very fortunate in that our president filled this in for us. But the Toastmaster needed to be here early enough to do it. That's your job, so that you have the information. Not everybody else. You're the ones who made the call, and not everyone else knows what you know. The next thing is, of course, during the meeting to have information to share. Just as Mr. Blasco this evening has shared with you information about desserts and interesting facts, it makes it so much fun if the theme is woven through the meeting and they give you these tidbits. However you want to do it, that's up to you. And then, of course, to introduce your speakers appropriately. Be sure that you greet them, by hand and bring them in front of you. They're the important people, and then you back out of the picture. And when they're finished speaking, you come up with your handshake and again let them pass in front of you. They're the important person. And remember, why is it important to do an introduction? It sets the tone for their speech. It gives them a boost. It leads to excitement on the part of the audience because they get prepared for the speaker. So preparing your own introduction is important, but the energy with which the Toastmaster introduces you is very important. Don't diminish the speaker by understating or underselling them. Always put them up on the pedestal with your introduction. And then, of course, toward the end, when your job is concluding, you as the Toastmaster get to give the awards out. How wonderful! You get to give the pats on the back. So you're the person who has the opportunity to acknowledge those who were at the meeting who did the best. And finally, you return the meeting back to the president or the presiding officer. And again, if you're bringing up someone, the presiding officer, you shake their hand and then you back out. They're the ones in center stage, and you let them go in front of you. In case you forget some of this vital information, I have, I hope, paper that you can see, that you won't forget. This is what you do when you are a Toastmaster. So, if you want to take one, this will help you the next time you're asked to be a Toastmaster. And remember, when you get up here and you are the Toastmaster, you make a difference. You know, we have some guests here tonight. You may be the person who entices and excites those members to return to the meeting. Or you know what? Or not. You may be the one who they said, this isn't for me. There's not enough energy, there's not enough excitement. This isn't hanging together well enough. I'm going to go somewhere else. You as a Toastmaster can impact our membership, you can impact the meeting, you can impact the lives of the people who are here at the meeting. And for you to pass up that opportunity and make it less than, as our Sergeant-at-Arms said, less than excellent, to pass it up, oh, you're losing an opportunity. So I encourage all of you, the next time you're asked to be Toastmaster, grab it, run with it, and make it a wonderful evening, because only you can do that when it's your turn.